Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. I I wanted to give a reaction um video on what I heard and what I listened to this morning in regarding to Steve Harvey on his morning show this morning regarding to those messages that were put on the internet from the jail calls and also some of the stuff that people have been saying about his wife. Okay. Good morning, Denver. Good morning, T Girl. Good morning, Steph. Good morning, Gigi. Good morning, Kenya. Good morning, Inez. I wanted to give you guys some input, and I pray. Hey, good morning, Lori. I pray that the person that got the FOIA has legal representation. Because there's some violation of the law that has occurred, and I know that's why we have to tread very very lightly when we do these things on the internet and we put out information, and especially if it's false and if it injures the parties, that we can be held liable for it. You already know what happened with Tasha K, right? Unless you can vet the information, unless you know that's what you're putting out is not going to injure a person or it's not going to cause any kind of harm. The reason why I wish I would have recorded Steve's live this morning, and I wanted to point out some things that he said on that in the is there a way I can listen to an old do anybody know how I can listen to what he said this morning on his show? Because I wanted to point out some stuff. Do y'all know if I can go back and listen to it some kind of way so I can play it for you guys so you guys can hear what I'm talking about? Okay. Well, I'm gonna paraphrase some of the stuff he was saying because Shirley got up on there. She explained she was apologizing basically to him, and she has heard the calls as well as Steve. He has heard the calls that were put out on the internet from the FOIA, the Freedom of Information Act. Okay. With the Freedom of Information, not sure because it's live. Yeah, okay. With the Freedom of Information Act, there is some exemption. There is some exemption to the Freedom of Information Act. Oh gosh. Hold on a second. Hold on. Okay. There's some go to radio YouTube channel that might have it there. Breakfast Club. They have a radio. Okay. You Steve Harvey radio station. Oh, thank you, T girl. You be on it. Okay. I wanted to point out some stuff he said, and it's basically giving the bloggers a warning. He basically warns the bloggers. It looks like he's going to come after bloggers for certain things, because if he feels, hold on. Okay, I'm gonna have to talk to this person later. Hold on a second. I'm getting messages from someone in regard to another case that I'm doing. Hold on. No, he doesn't have anything live right now. Daggone it. Somebody's doing a live. There's someone that's doing a live right now. Okay, but basically, he I know for a fact that Mr. Harvey is going to seek legal action on some of the things. He's upset. He's very upset because it's attacking his wife, and he's in that protective mode. So when you're in that protective mode like that, that means you're about to be on an attack. So all bloggers, I'm just going to give you guys warning. If you have put out the stuff that's causing some sort of chaos and confusion and things like that, I would say tread lightly. Be careful what you're putting out. Remember, the Bible speaks of us not putting out false information about people, right? So my suggestion, check what you're putting out and make sure it's real, it's not fake, and if you're protected by the law, because let me tell you, you're going to be held responsible, and you may not have the pennies to fight against Steve Harvey or anybody like that. So I say, just there are so many laws as media people that you must follow, or else you are going to get sued, and you're going to get sued, and it's going to hit you hard, right? And we think just because we're bloggers that we don't have to follow the rules and regulations of media. You do have to do that, because what you put out can cause harm, and you'll be held liable for it. One of the things that the Freedom of Information Act, just because you get the information does not mean you're supposed to put it out. The only you're okay, for example, if there's an ongoing investigation that's going on like it is in Shirley husband's case, you can jeopardize that whole case by putting that information out. Okay. I went in and I checked the Freedom Act. This is what it does not allow us to do. Hold on a second. I got the wrong page up. Hold on. And that's why we should definitely look at the law, get an attorney, understand what we're doing before we do it, because you're going to be held liable for it. And we got to be very, very careful. And all money is not good money. Remember that. Okay, here's what the Freedom says. There is exemption to the Freedom Information Act, right? Freedom of Information Act. You cannot. This is exempt. It says records will be disclosed unless the disclosure harms. See, if the disclosure harms are protected by the FOIA exemption. And the 9 FOIA exemption are cited in the Act as a 5 USC 552. Now here's the exemption, okay? 1, record currently or properly classified in the interest of national security. That's not the problem there. 2, record related to solely an internal personnel, rules and practices of the DOD or any of the DOD component. That has nothing to do with that. Record protected by another law that specifically exempt the information from the public release. Okay, that one is a question one right there. Trade secret or commercial and financial information obtained from private sources which causes substantial competitive harm in the source if disclosed. That's not part of that. Internal record that deliberatively, in nature or part of the decision making that contains opinion and recommendation. That's questionable. Now here's a part here that records which, if released, would result in a clearly unwarranted invasion of personal privacy. You hear that one? Records, which, if released, would result in a clearly unwarranted invasion of personal privacy. And then the other one, this is the main one right now, because you already know that the case is going right now with Strawberry's husband. Investigatory records are information compiled for law enforcement purposes. You hear this, y'all? Weren't they using the phone calls as part of the case? You remember when the hearing was about, and you heard the attorney and the prosecutor talk about the phone calls? So therefore, whoever, and I'm not, because I liked the information that was being brought out. I was interested. I listened to it like everybody else, y'all. I listened to it. I'm guilty of that because I did listen, because I, they put it out. I wanted to hear it, right? But the person that put it out can be held liable and can be in trouble. Can be in trouble. Because it's an ongoing investigation going right now with this case. Right now. This whole thing that happened that could blow up the case. And guys, Steve is watching because they said they listened to the calls. And Steve's wife has been injured by it, because they have all these kind of craziness that's out saying that she cheated on her husband and blah, 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 blah. And you heard what Steve said. He says, with those calls going out and the timing of everything, I'm just giving fair warning of that. So I suggest those who have played it and is playing it, check with an attorney, get an attorney, make sure you're legally represented, because when the fireworks happen, when he's going for the attack, just be careful. Just be careful. I think he got fed up. He's fed up. He was angry. Danae, you said, good morning, everyone. I feel like the only thing we really got confirmed is Shirley is in the process of divorce, and also the anger Steve has against bloggers. You got it right there. Today, you got it right there. Yeah, exactly. He's upset. He's really angry because you mess with his wife. He's on that protective mode, and he is going to go for an attack. And if you guys know the past history of his ex-wife, what he allegedly done to her. Allegedly done to her. But see, here's a different one with this, Brie. Nobody said anything while they were doing it to R. Kelly, right? Nobody said anything, right? Right now, Steven's not sitting back letting it happen. He's going to go in an attack, and it's going on right now. I wish somebody would have took care of it, handled it for R. Kelly, and they didn't. Oh, no, I'm not blaming him, Dolores. I'm not blaming him. No. I think you came in and at the end. No. No. See how you guys misunderstand. You come in late and you can misunderstand what I'm saying. That's not what I'm saying. I'm not blaming the man. Don't say I'm blaming. Correct that. I'm not blaming Steve. I'm just giving information to bloggers that you need to tread lightly and you need to get some legal representation, because if you're furthering information, oh, you're not talking about me? Okay, because when you say you, I'm the one behind the screen here and I'm reading. When you say you, it's interpreted that you're talking about me. because I'm the one that's talking about it when you say you. So, okay, you're not talking about me. But this is my reaction to the video. He's given basically a warning. You all who? What are you talking about? You say you're not talking about me, but you say you all. You all, I'm part of the you all. Well, to correct you, I am not upset with the man. I'm giving people information about them putting out false information about people and putting information that's not supposed to be put out at the time, especially during an investigation. Hey, Steph, I know, I understand she said don't, but it's the terminology. You know, sometimes we have to, when we're putting things in writing, the interpretation to someone is totally different from what you're putting on the screen. Sometimes you have to be very specific so people can understand. I'm in agreement with Steve for being upset because it's affecting his wife, and he is the protector of his wife. But I'm just giving bloggers some FYI. Not everything that you get is supposed to be put out, meaning that if there's an investigation going on in the case, you releasing phone calls and things like that can jeopardize the case, can affect the outcome of the case, because now you're having prejudicial, biased information that will cause the trial to not go right. And then when it's time for appeal, they can utilize this because information was leaked out to the public. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. And with Steve saying what he said this morning, it means that he's not playing with the bloggers putting out the lies in regarding to his wife, because his wife is being an injured party in this, because you have those phone calls coming through, right? And then some parts of it where conversation was spoken about Steve and his wife and things like that. Now that becomes an injury on her side because people are attacking, saying that this is happening, and their family, and they can't put out that fire. So what he's going to do is basically go on the attack and get whoever is the person responsible for it. He's going to go after those people. That's all I'm saying. And I'm giving you reaction to the video that happened. Okay. And he said something that really hit home for us, because he said the most of the people that's putting out false information and ugliness is people, Black people, people of color, people who he's been trying to uplift, give some positive stuff to, and they're the one that's tearing him down, tearing his family down, basically. That's what he's basically saying on that. And we just have to be very careful as content creators and putting out information that we don't vet, and we don't and a lot of us put it out because we want clicks and views while we're hurting other people's life. And sometimes you have to put yourself in the person's shoes. How would you feel if it was happening to you? Would you be willing to put it all out like this if it was you that they were putting it out on? Now, if you don't mind and you don't care, then hey, do what you do. But if you don't want the same thing to happen to you, you shouldn't put it out. And that's why I give Steve a warning too, because when Mr. Kelly was going through the things he went through, the Bible said those who are spiritual, you're supposed to uplift if your brother fall into is courting and fall into a fall, right? happens to fall. You that is spiritual supposed to hold that person up, pray for them, be that that help for that person when they're going through it. You don't bash, you don't add on to the injury. Don't put insult to the injury. You don't add on. And he was doing the same things. Now, I think, sometimes what you put out, you start receiving it. You know what I mean? You had no compassion, no love for the person. So now you're feeling how it feels when someone lies on you, or someone causes you some sort of injury, some personal injury. And now what I'm saying is not popular to people, but I'm telling you something. What I'm telling you now is facts, y'all. It's facts. You just got to be very, very careful what you put out, because it will come back. Be very, very specific and sensitive. Very sensitive in what you're putting out. Don't put it out because you want clicks and views and be monetized. Don't do that, because I'm saying that, like Robert's mom said, what profit a man if he gained the whole world and lose his soul? And sometimes we're selling our soul for these clicks and views. We're selling our morals and our common sense for clicks and views. Yeah, for clicks and views. We don't want to listen to things that is right, that is upright, that is building people up. We want to tear folks down. And that's not right. And the lies spread so fast, because people can make up all kinds of stories behind it all. People's lives are being affected. And they still have to get up on that platform. Like he said, it's every single day. He's still got to get on that platform, even though he's dealing with life issues. They're dealing with life issues, but he still want to come in, and they have to put on that face and fake it. And while you guys are tearing them down, they're trying to build you up. And that's not a fair thing. And I just pray that I don't know. It's an evil world that we're living in. It's going to continue. I just pray that as individual, we are conscious and do the right things. Do the right things all the time, even when someone is not looking at you. Do the right thing every time. And this is not popular. You won't see thousands and millions of views on this. You won't even see 100 views on this, because people don't want to hear that. People want to hear the nastiness and ugliness and tearing someone down. And it's pretty sad. It's really pretty sad that we will relish in a downfall of someone, or we wishing negativity on someone. We want so much bad things to happen to other people, but meanwhile, you want God to have mercy on you when you supposedly make a mistake. You want God to bless you when you know you're being part of tearing someone else down. Isn't it strange how as human beings we would want to do that? We think it's fun and games when we're putting out information that's we don't know if it's true, and then we adding on stuff to make it sensationalized for folks to come to your channel and relish in the negativity. As long as not them, somebody else. Yeah. And that's why we all have to do things that is right every single time. Every single time, do what is right. And there are times when you find yourself doing something wrong, repent. Ask God to forgive you and make it right. Come back to your channel and say, hey, what I said was wrong. Here's the correct information. Forgive me. I can't allow myself to tear someone down. Let me get this right. And it's okay to come back and correct yourself when you have done someone wrong. So you don't have to keep looking behind your back and worrying when that karma is going to come back and hit you right back in your face. So it's two sides to the coin. There's the head and there's the tail. The head is what's going to tell you to do the right thing. Okay. So to Steve, I pray everything works out well for you and your family. But I also pray that the same measure that you have put out, understand the same measure, and sometimes it magnified into your life. When you found it pleasurable to tear someone down or tear other people down, now all of a sudden the shoes turn on the other foot, and now you have to face the damages that putting out false information causes. The person you love the most is being affected by it. And I know you're angry. I know you're upset. And I know it's not right. But there is a lesson to be learned in all of this. And you guys, I'm doing reactionary on all sides, not just one side. I'm not sitting here bashing or blaming him. I'm not bashing and blaming the people who put the information out. I'm just giving you guys some food for thought. Food for thought. The scripture speaks about certain things. And one of the things the scripture speaks about is putting out false information. And I put a scripture out on my channel about that. Just because the information you're putting out sounds good, but if it's a gossip and it's tearing someone down, don't put it out. Don't put it out. And all the bloggers that's out there who contribute into the false information about the divorce and all this kind of stuff about Steve and his wife doing this, his wife is that, take that stuff down. Remove it. Those clicks and views are not worth it. It's not worth it, because let me tell you something. Same measure you put out, it's the same measure and even magnified going to come back to you in your life. It may not be that way, but you same measure. Let us be more uplifting. And I know that's not popular. It's not going to sell, not going to get the clicks and views. I know. Because you got to make a living. I understand. Good morning, Ace. Morning, Veronica. But hey, Rita, good morning. That is my reaction to that. And I'm going to get off this live and do my affirmation. What is more pleasant and what's upbuilding. But I just wanted to say, I listened to Steve this morning. I heard the hurt. I heard the anger. I heard Shirley. I heard her embarrassment. I heard that, I heard it all. And it's a lesson for everybody. Lesson for Steve, lesson for his wife, a lesson for Shirley, lesson for others that's in that office. And it's a lesson for us, the hearers, the listeners. It's a lesson for us. And it's a lesson for the people that's putting the stuff out. It's a lesson to be learned by everybody about this. You too. Have a wonderful day, Danae. You too. But I'm gonna go ahead and end this. I just hope you guys share this information, and those who are using the Freedom Act, please make sure you're using it in the right form. Sometimes that information that you're receiving is not for us to put on the internet. It was for us to dissect it and bring out the information that's important to the public. Having to listen to all those calls. Yes, I'm nosy. Yes, I'm nosy. It was put out. I listened to it. Yes, I'm guilty of that. Right. But you notice that after that first call, when I shared it, I didn't share any more calls because it got a little bit too personal and evasive for me to regurgitate some of that stuff. I try to stay away from it. I try to stay away from those things because karma is real. I'm not going to take pleasure in somebody's downfall, you know? You too, Mississippi. Have a blessed day too. But I'm gonna end this. You guys have a great day. Love you guys. I'm gonna come back and do my affirmation and then get my butt down to the courthouse so I can bring that information to you guys. Okay. Love you, and I'll see you guys later. Hope you guys take heed of what I said. I'm not trying to beat anybody down or anything like that. I'm just giving information. That's it. Just giving information and asking God to check my heart, check my intention and certain things. And I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, I'm right. I did it. No, no, no. I'm as wrong as two left shoes, because if I sat there and entertained it, I'm part of the problem. Okay. All right. You guys have a wonderful day. God bless you. Love you guys. Bye.